That's embarrassing. Usually it adds us automatically. I feel like Rook unadded us. He took us out.
No, I didn't touch anything.
I don't believe you, sir. Jacques.
I was here before you, and I was trying to change the background back to what we have, the Scoreboard Addicts.
You were not here before me.
I was 100%. I swear. I saw you log in, but I logged in at the same time because my computer was giving me trouble, so I had to reset.
Yeah, likely story, my friend.
It was
proven in a court of law. Anyhow, excuse my liar. I mean my lawyer. Interesting week this week. We missed last week. I've been under the weather myself, dealing with some medical shit, so I wasn't feeling great last week. We went on a little hiatus last week.
It was Halloween, so me and TJ were busy with the kids and trick or treating, and
finger popping each other's assholes. I know that's one of your favorite quotes of any movie.
It is funny. It is a funny.
But yeah, TJ will be here shortly. He's living his best life this week. Just having the greatest time ever. I think he's running through his neighborhood naked right now, actually.
Because he can. Right? He can.
Because he's not hiding from nobody and nothing.
I thought this is America.
But interesting week. We're gonna do a little. It's boring right now in New York with sports. Sports are kind of boring in New York, just because the Yankees lost, that fucking blew, and then baseball season's over. Jets and Giants both fucking suck.
Yeah.
Though I think the Jets are still mathematically in it. How I don't fucking know, but they are.
What is it? 4 wild cards now or something like that? 3 wild cards.
They're on their way to allowing everybody to make the playoffs anyway, so it doesn't even matter. The Rangers are the only team playing well.
Yeah, they're just playing. Knicks are not playing well despite getting Karl-Anthony Towns. Hopefully they'll turn it around, but they just don't look good. They don't look good gelling, I think, is the issue here. You have to figure out their rotation still. Who's really playing, who's not be playing. Jericho Sims is playing a little bit, but he's not playing that great. Everyone thought he would probably step up this year, but yeah, it's a tough time right now in New York sports. Then you have everybody just talking about the offseason for baseball because they want to know whether or not Will Soto end up with Yankees or Mets because both of them going after him. Stevie Cohen said that will not be denied. He's going to be the highest bidder if they lose because he took a discount somewhere else.
That's a short conversation. Let's have it. Talking about hot stove for baseball. Garrett Cole opted out, and I don't know if it could have been something else. I don't know. I don't know, but it seems like he opted out just to test the waters, only to find out they weren't deep enough for him, and then decided to go back to the contract that he had. Though I don't know. I mean, obviously we don't see the structuring of those contracts. We don't know what they look like. For all I know, that he took a restructured deal in an effort to free up money to sign Juan Soto. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
I mean, I haven't seen the terms of that new contract that he signed, which is essentially the same dollar amount as Juan Soto's. As his previous account. But for all we know, he went Ohtani and deferred the money.
It's true, he could have.
But I guess we'll find out. Time will tell.
And they could have said hey, listen, we're gonna try to fix, shore up Soto first, and then we'll deal with your extension. I mean, who knows? Only time will tell about that.
He may have opted out and said, "I'm not coming back unless you guys make a legitimate effort to fucking sign Juan."
Could be that.
Again, I'm speculating. I don't know. This isn't fucking, what is that, Mets News Twitter page that says they have sources and they don't have sources. But yeah, could be anything. But as far as Stephen Cohen is concerned with regard to Juan Soto would not be the first professional athlete to say, I'll take less money to not play for the Mets. Because we all know that's what happened with Carlos Beltran. And the Yankees told him to go fucking walk. Like, Carlos Beltran was trying to pit the two teams against each other for the highest contract. The Yankees said, we're out. We don't care. Go play for the fucking Mets. And then he came back to them. I believe it was on a Sunday. He came back saying, all right, $100 million I think it was $100 million contract for 5 years. That was the tipping point for Carlos Beltran. The Mets offered him like 110. The Yankees said, I'm not going over 100. And at the last hour, he was like, okay, I'll come for $100 million. You got a deal. And they were like, no, that they pulled a fucking Sonny fucking, what's Kevin Costner's name from fucking Draft Day? Sonny something Jr.
I can't remember.
It's going to drive me crazy now. I know his name too. I keep wanting to say Liston, but that's not true.
It's not. Oh man, I love that movie too. It's a good movie.
People don't give it enough respect. I like that movie.
People don't give it credit, and they say it's pretty accurate to what could not. I mean, obviously the trades and stuff is unrealistic about what he did in the movie, but they said it's pretty accurate portrayal of what occurs on actual draft day in the draft room. So
Sonny Weaver Jr.
I was gonna say not Weaver. I was gonna say something like Wheaton or Walter or something like that.
Yeah, so Sonny Weaver, hey, it's a different world we live in now than we did 5 minutes ago. And the Yankees told fucking Carlos Beltran, enjoy playing in Queens and being completely irrelevant. And that's basically what happened to the guy. Like, he went to Queens, he struck out to end the NLCS in 2008 or something like that?
2006.
2006, and then the Mets didn't make the playoffs for the remainder of the fucking
his contract.
A decade.
Having a nasty collision with Mike Cameron. Remember that? That was
yeah,
wild.
Yeah. But so fucking Steve Cohen could sit there and say, like, I'll throw $200 billion at this guy. I'm going to be honest with you. And I think it started with Mike Trout. At some point, I started looking at these contracts going, like, what the fuck are you going to do with all that money?
Yeah,
like,
at that point. I mean, at a certain point, you don't need all that money.
Like, if you have $500 million, like if you earned $500 million because you own a business, and that it just generates that much money, that's one thing. Like, you can't stop making that money because your business generates it, like Amazon. Like, Jeff Bezos can't stop making money. Like, if he wanted to sit there and be like, oh yeah, I don't need all this fucking $11 billion. Like, what do you do? Shut down Amazon? Like, okay, and cripple like the country's economy and shit. Like, I guess that's what you could do. But like, when you're a pro athlete and you're negotiating your contract and you start getting into $500 million, $800 million, at some point you just go like, I will never be able to spend this money in my life. And like, the next 30 generations of my family are fucking set because I can literally take $100 million, put it in like a CD account and like just make a shit ton of money for like, I could literally put like $250,000 in multiple banks, and my kids could live off of the fucking the interest forever. And it's all backed by the FDIC, so you don't have to worry about the money going anywhere and shit like that. And I'm just like, it's got to be an ego thing. Like, you just want all that money just so you could tell the guy to your right and to your left, like, suck my dick, I'm better than you. That's why they paid me more. Because what are you going to do with fucking $600 million?
I'm sorry. When did we land in fucking Cuba? What's this communism bullshit? It's called capitalism, buddy.
It's just like, I literally
live in excess. You live in excess. That's it.
You know,
you buy a house, you furnish it, you live in it for a week, and then you say, fuck this house, and you sell it. Okay? Because you can.
First of all, Rook, you just moved. How stressful is fucking moving?
I would never. That's the last thing I'd do.
Right? I'm saying, like, I read Mike.
Not when you're furnishing the house and then walking in and saying, I'm going to live here for a week, and then walk out because you.
And then your wife is sitting there fucking bitching at you every day about what you're furnishing the house with.
If it's already
not at all.
I'm with you.
Right? You just like you call your agent and be like, oh, Yo, did the game check clear? All right, cool. Just buy another random house. Let's see if this one I like.
I'm just
and
saying,
you just do that for a few years just for the fun of it because you can. Bro, it's a beautiful thing having money. You sit here thinking about people making hundreds of millions of dollars, and that's an unfathomable amount of money. You understand that there's a dude sitting on some corner in Manhattan right now going, I suck a dick for a crack rock and $5. And if you offer that dude $100, he'd be like, I don't know what the fuck to do right now.
He'd buy crack, obviously. That's what he needs.
No, he'd be like, I only need like $10 of this.
He just said I'd suck dick to buy crack, and you're like, I don't know what to do with $100. Buy crack, obviously.
He's probably gonna die. Let's call it what it is. He's probably gonna die. Like
he doesn't have to buy crack. He doesn't have to suck dick for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. If you give him $100.
I'm just saying, people live off of whatever is in their means, but you hit a certain level of rich where these fucking multi-billionaires like Jeff Bezos, right, sit there and go, hey, how much money can I invest in a yacht? That's technically not a cruise ship yet. And then they go and build you a cruise ship essentially for like a family of 3.
I honestly couldn't do it. I would just sit there and be like, what the fuck am I going to do with this? Like, I've spent money on shit I don't need before. And then after the fact, not because of like the thought of wasted money, but simply because I was like, that was fucking a waste of my time. Like, I'll never get that time back that I wasted buying this thing to use it for 5 fucking seconds. And like, now I have no need for it. And it's just like, all right, well, whatever, I guess. Just fucking throw it away. I guess.
You're just not using capitalism right. Every time I buy myself something, I'm always like, ooh, whether it's a fucking candy bar at the gas station because I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'm being fat today, and hammering down a 3 Musketeers, acting like I'm not going to also buy one on the way home tomorrow.
There's like, I can guarantee you, I look in my fridge right now and I'll find a Reese's Fast Break that I bought 6 months ago that I never fucking ate, and at this point, I'm like, I'm not eating this shit. This is old as fuck.
Terrible. That's awful.
Gotta eat it.
By the way, what I just described as capitalism, when you just buy shit for no fucking reason and throw it away. But I just hate doing that. I'm like, I read Mike Tyson's
capitalism.
book.
It's literally still paying somebody else's bills. You went into that shop. That shop had to employ a clerk so they can sell you that candy bar that you didn't eat. You're helping the economy, guy.
I just said that's capitalism, buying candy bars that you don't fucking need.
I know.
But
that's awesome.
I read Mike Tyson's book, and he's like, I had a mansion in Connecticut or some shit like that. It had like 35 rooms in it. He goes, I never went into all 35 rooms. Like, I furnished every single room in that house, I think, but I never made it into every single one of those rooms. And I was just like, that's kind of fucking stupid. Like, why? Like, if I had a lot of money, I'd probably buy a house with maybe like 5 or 6 rooms, like one for me, an office for Meredith. Like, we had 2 kids. I guess that's 5 rooms right there. And then 2 guest bedrooms. Because why the fuck do I want that many people in my house? Like,
yeah, and then also like maybe like a movie theater and like a basement. That's it.
But that's not a bedroom.
Not at all.
You need
a random room.
Oh yeah. It's a room.
You need a random room. Just like
he had 35 bedrooms, dude. I'm not talking about 35 rooms. 35 bedrooms. He didn't know 35 fucking people.
That's great. I love it.
So stupid. It's just a dumb.
It's amazing.
It's like people that have 80 fucking cars. They're not car collectors. They just want to show off how many cars they have. They don't know how to drive any of them.
Listen,
I
agree. No, you know what the craziest thing is? I was watching some stupid thing, and it said like, if you went to Disney right now, Disney World, and spent one night in every room on the property, it would take you like 80 years. To stay
that's my point. Room. And that's my point. And then what did you really achieve in those 80 years? Fucking nothing.
Disney achieved more capitalism.
I will say this, and my sister and I have agreed on this. When we were poorer, we were happier as a family. Because we had more forced interaction. We had to spend more time together. When everybody got their own bedroom and there were multiple TVs and we could watch whatever we wanted, literally it was like a hello goodbye situation where you just never interacted with the other 2 people or 3 people that lived in your house. So like I tell my sister all the time, like when we shared a room and we only had 2 TVs in the house, we were happier as a family because we were closer knit. But back to the point at hand is, even if fucking Steve Cohen fucking offered, if I was Juan Soto and you offered me fucking $100 million more than the Yankees offered me, I'd be like, keep your fucking $100 million. I'm gonna go play for a team that's still relevant, because Francisco Lindor said something along the lines of like, I want to get to the point in this town where I don't have to buy a meal. I'm sorry. Keith Hernandez is paying for fucking meals in New York City. He's not Derek Jeter. I hate to break it to you.
Dude, let's call it what it is.
Doc Gooden and Dwight and Doc Gooden and fucking Darryl Strawberry were still paying for Coke in this city. All right, Lawrence Taylor wasn't, but Dwight Gooden and fucking Darryl Strawberry were. Maybe not after Darryl won a World Series with the Yankees, but I'm just saying, like, playing for the Mets is not like playing for the Yankees. Just like playing for the Jets is not like playing for the Giants. It's just not the same thing. Or playing for the Knicks is not like John Starks will always be a bigger stud than fucking Jason Kidd.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I understand.
Yeah, muted.
I totally muted. Yeah, totally muted myself. I understand your point, and I agree to a certain extent. But right now, if I'm a player, I'd rather be on the fucking Mets, dude. I really would. The Yankees are a joke of an organization right now.
The Mets aren't that much better.
They're literally being run by a fucking butt puppet, okay? A dude with a fucking clipboard and a pocket protector and glasses walks up to fucking Aaron Boone and tells him what the statistics say, and he fucking does it, okay? Anybody could manage the Yankees right now. They're a joke of an organization. Not a single person on that team looks like they're fucking having fun, okay? And it's an all or nothing home run strikeout type of baseball system that leads to nothing but fucking getting somewhere in the playoffs and then losing. Where the Mets, I agree, lost as well. However, they have the ability to turn small ball into a fucking win, which the Yankees have no ability to do whatsoever. And you'll sit there and roll your eyes and all this other shit, but I'm sick and tired of seeing strikeout, pop out, fucking double play, and then one home run. And it's like, oh,
I am as well. I am as well, but you're saying this like the Mets can continue this, which
the Mets. If you ask me right now on paper, who I think has a better chance of winning a World Series, the Yankees or the Mets in the next 5 years, I'd say the Mets.
You're right. It sounds nice this season until next season when Reyes breaks his ankle in his first at bat and he's out for the whole year, and there goes their whole sparkle. And fucking Pete Alonso's playing for the Yankees this year. Like that's Mets 101.
That is all possible. But at the end of the day, the fucking Yankees were going through the World Series with not a single capable catcher. You had one that plays good defense and can throw the ball, and one that can fucking hit a little better and doesn't really hit that well. Okay? The Yankees as an organization, the Yankees who fucking had Yogi Berra can't get a catcher. Give me a break.
Which is which?
Give me a break.
Not have a good arm.
He was talking about Wells playing defense, and Trevino was hitting at that point.
Yes.
Wells
can throw somebody out. Wells can throw somebody out, and Trevino can hit above 101.
Yeah, but that's the difference. Their offense was the same in the playoffs. It wasn't like
they're both garbage, is what I'm saying. How are either one catching for the fucking Yankees? That's why I think this organization is a joke. Nick, you've said this before. The payroll has never gone up, but the fucking bankroll goes up. Right? Their profit is above everything else. And they're sitting there knowing that they can fucking fill the stands, whether they put a clown team out there or an amazing team out there. It just doesn't matter. Either way, beers are going to go up $1 next fucking season. Tickets are going to go up $10 at the minimum. And everything is going to remain the same. Mediocre. Arms that fucking fall apart and can't get you there.
But again, you're saying it with regard to winning. I don't think Juan Soto gives a fuck about really winning all that much with regard to like, oh, the Mets have a better shot to win the World Series, which they do not, because they still have to go through the Dodgers. They still have to go through the Phillies. They still next year have to go through a healthy Atlanta team because Atlanta was not healthy at all this season. They still got to go through San Diego and the easier path to the World Series, a World Series which the Yankees did lose and they only won one game, but they didn't get blown out by the Dodgers like the Mets did. The Mets got ass raped in the 4 games that they lost. They lost by 5 runs in each game. That's crazy.
Can I say one thing with the catcher the position? Like Austin Wells over the season was actually batting pretty well, but the problem is these type of guys, the Yankees, in short series they get exposed and they get just end up doing nothing, and that's what happened to Austin
garbage.
Wells.
They're garbage players.
So he's not a bad player because he can play throughout the year. When it comes to the postseason, he gets exposed. It's the same thing. Aaron Judge does not play well in the postseason, and it's frustrating to watch. Hit that 1 home run in Game 5, and I thought, oh, maybe we'll have a shot at pushing this Game 6. And then the 5th inning happens, and all the wheels come off because they all stop playing defense. They all start putting their head up there.
But I think again, when we're talking about
the World Series,
when we're talking about legacies, and you're talking about the end of your career, the money that you have in your pocket, and what you mean to the sport after it's done, playing for the Mets ain't going to get you further along than playing for the Yankees.
That's not true.
When you go into the Hall of Fame wearing a Yankee fucking hat, which happens quite frequently. It ain't the same as going to the Hall of Fame wearing a fucking Mets hat.
Okay, and ask anybody in New York in the 80s and early 90s about the fucking Islanders and the Rangers, and everybody would be like, oh, the fucking Rangers, who gives a shit about them? You can have
We're not talking about
legacy.
hockey.
What I'm saying is, if you just pay attention and let me get to the fucking point, okay? I'm talking about a team that has the ability, right, with what they have now, and an owner saying we're going to fucking sell everything if we have to get the players we need to have a World Series. Okay, he achieves that. They win a World Series. They have the ability to win a few World Series. The fucking Mets go on to win like 2 or 3 World Series in a decade. I hate to tell you, while the Yankees suffer and die, they will be like the fucking Yankees when Steinbrenner bought them. No one gave a fuck about the Yankees.
I'm telling you right now, that's not going to happen.
Okay, and guess what? The Yankees are going nowhere with the same thing that they're doing now.
As long as Joe Namath is alive, the Mets ain't fucking winning 3 World Series.
An owner who is acting like George Steinbrenner and saying we'll spend the fucking money if that's what it takes to win, versus retard Steinbrenner saying, well, you know, we got a roll of Cashman.
Wilpon only became cheap at the end when he got robbed by Bernie Madoff. In the beginning, he was giving stupid contracts to fucking Mo Vaughn and fucking Roberto Alomar and fucking Tom Glavine and Pedro Martinez. Stupid ass contract.
Jason Bay, how much Jason Bay?
Johan Santana.
Jason Bay was a bust, though. The same way as fucking
that's what we're saying. We're saying is, yes, they throw stupid money at people. We're not. The Mets were only cheap with Wilpon at the end after he'd gotten robbed by Madoff.
Yeah.
And what's going on? And what do you think the trend is with the Yankees right now? You think they're going to go out and spend money? No.
Soto? Yeah, I think so. I think they have to keep Soto.
They're not going to, though.
They
spent the money on Judge.
They look at everyone, looking at Alonso, looking at Blake Snell, looking at all those pitchers, dude. They're looking at everyone. Not Blake. I don't want Blake Snell.
We'll see where they end up spending, because I don't know right now. I don't know right now. But I'm saying is, if I'm Juan Soto, I'm not playing for the fucking Mets if the Yankees are offering something comparable. I'm not playing for the Mets. Even if the Mets offer me more, I'm not playing for the Mets if the Yankees offer me something comparable.
The Yankees give him like 13 years, $500 million, and the Mets offer him 13 years, $600 million. Do you think he'd take the Yankees over that? I think that's a big difference. I think I'd take the 100.
No, I think the Mets would offer him more years and like an extra $5 million a year, which would be like if the Yankees offered him 10 years, fucking $400 million or whatever it is, and then the Mets were like, all right, we're going to give you 14 years, like $600 million. I don't know that math off the top of my head. That's like $5 million more per year. I'd fucking sit there and be like, yeah, you can keep the fucking $5 million, bro.
You wouldn't.
And on top of that, same thing with the Dodgers. If the Dodgers offered me something comparable than the fucking Mets, I'm playing for the fucking Dodgers too.
I don't know the Dodgers.
That's not even.
I don't think they have the space, honestly.
When it comes down to brass tacks, nobody's turning down an extra $5 million unless you're guaranteeing me. Like Tom Brady took a discount to build a team because he fucking knew by himself he's essentially a shoo-in for the playoffs.
You might have missed it, but Carlos Beltran went back to the Yankees and said, I'll take the $10 million less. I want to play for the Yankees. And the Yankees were like, nah, fuck off. Go play with the Mets. Enjoy yourself. I
understand that, but that's that.
But you're saying nobody's doing it. Somebody's done it.
Okay, congratulations. Now name somebody else that's done it within the last 10 years.
I mean, I don't know what the contracts are for the last 10 years. Say again?
Judge.
Yeah, Judge, he got offered more money by San Francisco, stayed with the Yankees.
Yeah.
I mean, the city that's known for human feces all over the fucking place.
He's from San Francisco, man. He's from that.
Still shit, exactly. So he knows. He's like, yeah, I've dodged an up.
Come on, give me a fucking break,
dude. It's not giving me a break. You have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to $5 million. Who gives a fuck, dude?
Oh, you're sitting there saying, "Oh, it's a shitty city." He's from there. His family lives there, and you're like, "That's not good enough." So you're telling me that if you can have the opportunity to play near your family and be near your family, and your kids could see their grandpa all the fucking time, you'd be like, "Nah, fuck that place. I don't want to fucking play in that city, even though I live in the suburb that's miles away."
First of all,
he says this as he makes fun of fucking Mike Trout. Why the fuck would you want to stay out there and be in mediocrity? So pick a fucking thing.
It's not from fucking California.
It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter where you're from. It has nothing to do with where you're from. You're from wherever the fuck you decide to call home, dude. I hate to tell you. So you're sitting there saying, oh, this is a good reason, but Mike Trout being the fucking guy who wants to be left alone and just make his millions of dollars and doesn't give a fuck about playing in the postseason, that's not good enough for you. But, because the dude likes the city, worth giving up money.
Everybody else is sitting there saying it's a travesty that he's not in the playoffs. I'm saying he doesn't give a fuck, so why does anybody else?
No, my thing
That's what I continuously said. You're just making shit up in your head.
But Nick,
I'm not. You literally make fun of the fucking guy because you're like, hey, you want to live your life being a fucking nobody, have fun. You made fun of him a million times.
I don't make fun of him at all. I just sit there and say, why do we give a fuck about this guy?
Wait, but I agree with Nick. When it comes to like an extra $5 million on top of $50 million, it's like a drop in the hat. Like it really is an extra $5 million. It's not though. It is. It doesn't matter at that point.
You're out of your mind.
$5 million a year is that what
you'll make $5 million in interest just by fucking breathing.
It's you fucking guys are crazy, bro. You really are.
So
right now, which one of you are going to give up 10% of your contract and donate it to Goodwill or something like that? Because it's just a drop in the hat. It's just a drop in the hat.
I can make up that 10% in endorsements because I play for a franchise that matters, and it doesn't make a difference.
Hilarious. Neither one of you will ever fucking see $5 million, and you're talking about it like it means nothing. It means nothing. That's out of control.
We're making. We don't know what $5 million looks like, but I certainly know if I have $500 million, they're like, "Oh, I'll give you extra."
And I certainly know, Rook, you would never take a 10% discount. You would never take a 10% discount. Would you honestly, right now? I'm going to pay you 10% less. You're going to work at my law firm, and I'm going to save you a 5-minute drive, so you're closer to home.
I already did that. I lost like $1,000 a fucking month. I lost $12,000 a year so that I wouldn't have to drive in 2.5 hours to 3 hours of traffic every single day.
Okay, now factor in gas and tolls and your time, and did you really lose that money? No, you didn't. Time is money. How much do you make an hour? How much do you make an hour? More than you'd lose. More than you'd lose in a month.
I absolutely did lose it. I absolutely did lose like $1,000 a month. Absolutely.
The point is, if you're spending 3 hours sitting in traffic and time is money, what do you make an hour?
I don't. I make a salary, and if you did the numbers for like my salary, how much I work versus how much I get paid like $1.25 an hour.
But if I get paid $50 million,
I don't make overtime in my job.
If my salary was $50 million a year, not what my current salary is, and you're like, oh, you could stay home, work 10 minutes away, and we'll give you $5 million less. I'd be like, all right, I'm going to make $35 million. Like,
no, see, but you're using big numbers because you think, oh my God, $1 million is more than I need. Why would I need $50 million? That's not how the world works. That $50 million gets cut in half after fucking agents and taxes.
I know, but we're comparing it to what his money is, not what my
money is. I understand, but money doesn't last. How is fucking MC Hammer's millions of dollars doing, dude?
Because he doesn't have a contract worth $500 million. Yeah. He made $20 million that year, and only that year, and spent $20 million.
Okay, exactly. Now let's do the dude that won like $70 million in the fucking London lottery or whatever the fuck, and then blew it all on cocaine and hookers in 2 years. Right. In 2 years. Okay, again, the dude went from fucking sitting in the pub making no money to now having $70 million, and then 2 years later is broke. Because why? Because ideas like this. What's $5 million when you have 50? No. Dropping the fucking hat.
No, it's because of you and your just buy a different house every week. That's why he fucking went.
No. That's if you have Jeff Bezos money coming in and you don't know what to do with.
Yeah,
that is burning it.
So he had $70 million and didn't know what to do with it. So he went the cheaper route.
But if I won $70 million in the lottery, I wouldn't blow it on hookers and cocaine in 2 years. I'd probably put.
No, you spaced it out over 5. We know.
No, you gotta like use it wisely. You gotta put it into a bank, earn some interest, make that money make you more money.
Right.
Everyone would have done that. That guy just was like, I have $70 million. I'm gonna do a bunch of
hookers and blow
bags of hookers, and then be
done. Buy a new house every week. Furnish it.
He probably had the best 2 years of his life. Just gonna say.
But I will say this: allegedly, according to Major League Baseball, when you make excess amounts of money, then you don't notice when $2 million is missing because it's nothing. It's a teardrop in the ocean. That's why Ohtani got robbed of $2 million by his interpreter, so that his interpreter could throw down bets, and he didn't notice that $2 million was missing out of his bank account because it's nothing.
No, what's more insane about that is the fact that if you're an interpreter making, I can only assume maybe $100,000 a year if he's traveling with the team and all that shit.
More than that.
But just, I'm sure he's getting. But like what I'm saying is,
they were supposedly friends. If you were my friend and you were my interpreter, I'd be paying you more than 100 G's. I'm a soldier and I make 6 figures.
But your friend also wouldn't fucking steal from you, like.
We all know what the fuck happened right there.
But again,
it's a really good friend.
Nick, all of a sudden you get an Ohtani fucking contract, right? And I know now that you've said $5 million drop in a hat, wouldn't even notice it missing. And I decide to fucking skim a little off the top and take $2 million out of that, right? Let's say because Ohtani's making fucking retarded money, so $2 million off the top of Ohtani's money is like me and you dropping a quarter, walking into 7-Eleven and being like, it landed in a pile of piss that dog just left. I'm not picking it
Well,
up.
that's what we're talking about for Soto.
Right,
the same.
right. No, I understand. I understand what you're saying. But $600 million contract for $2 million, like percentage wise, we're not even at
any of that money yet. He hasn't gotten any of that money yet.
I get it, but just
he
listen.
Won't get it for like 10 years.
If I manage to be a dude making a 6-figure salary and I skim $2 million off you, the last thing I'm going to do is fucking gamble it. The gamble was stealing it from you. If I got away with it, I'm going to be like, oh, hey, yeah, Nick, my uncle that I've never told you about died, and that's why I'm driving this Lamborghini. Like, no one steals $2 million and then fucking gambles it.
But as we said about this hot stove, I don't think unless the fucking Dodgers, Yankees, Phillies are complete. You don't want to look are completely inept. $11 million a year.
Yeah. Totally fucking worth it. All those Ranger fans out there telling us, or me mostly, that I'm an asshole, I'm crazy. What do you mean? He's a difference maker. Really?
I mean, he did make a difference today. They're losing 5-0.
It's just the fact that in today's NHL, if you do what the Avalanche does and most of the West Coast does and just score 6 goals, your goalie can let 4 past.
That's true. But yeah, I don't think the Mets blow anybody. Again, I think that their path to the World Series is a lot more difficult than everybody else, and I don't think they have the pitching that everybody thinks they do.
Yeah. No, listen, I'm just saying I don't like I don't like the culture of the Yankees right now. The culture of the Yankees shows no interest in fucking winning it all at any cost.
I am intrigued. I want to say, truthfully, I really hope this year is a 95 type year where you've got a young shortstop who did very well in the playoffs, I thought, for his first playoffs, for that is. And maybe you just need 1 or 2 guys, maybe a third baseman, maybe a second baseman. I don't know how I feel about them letting Glaber walk because he was a great postseason performer this year. Somebody was like, "Oh, and he made an error." I'm like, "What error did he make in the playoffs?" "Oh, he didn't catch that short hop ball." I mean, you mean the errant throw? The throw that was the error? He didn't catch that one? Like, he didn't get charged with an error. So, like, what are we talking about? He made an error. He showed up when it mattered. He made errors during the season.
He was lazy on the ball. They're like, oh, he was lazy on the ball.
They always say he's lazy. It's for the same reason as always. All the Spanish players are lazy. I've never heard a white guy get called lazy in baseball. But ultimately, I think that short hopped ball is always.
Hold on. That's not true.
I never heard of a white guy get called lazy in baseball.
I watched the fucking dude get
fat piece of shit.
I watched the dude get choked out for being lazy. Your boy Bryce Harper might shout back. Yeah, he fucking choked him out for being lazy, though.
But they didn't call him lazy. They were just like, no hustle. But they don't sit there and there's no rhetoric that he's the lazy.
I said he was lazy.
That specific word never came out of anybody's mouth about Bryce Harper.
True. I said that's fucking lazy. Happened.
They didn't call it lazy. They were just like, oh, what the fuck is that? No hustle. And that's the end of the conversation. He doesn't get tagged as being lazy for the rest of his life. As soon as the one brown guy or the guy with a Z in his name doesn't hustle one time, oh, he's fucking lazy.
Rangers are losing because we talked about how they were the only good thing going on New York.
Pretty much.
That very well may be true. So, like, Glaber might be gone. I don't know. They could bring him back on a deal, depending on what the market looks like.
The qualifying offer, so it wasn't like they were like, we don't want to accept it.
Which I don't get because, like, the qualifying offer is literally like 1 year, $21 million or some shit like that.
Is that what it is? 1 year, yeah.
And
they don't want him for the year.
He wasn't going to sign a fucking 1 year contract.
Probably.
So what the fuck?
It's not just like, I mean, it's not worth the what do you get? Compensatory pick? Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Why not?
Those draft picks don't fucking matter. Whatever happens.
Hold on. Let's go to the timeout. Roberto Clemente was a Rule 5 draft pick. Just saying.
I don't know. Like, yeah, there's stories.
Like, Roberto Clemente should have played for the Dodgers, but he was a Rule 5 draft pick and had to go to the Pittsburgh Pirates.
There's one guy, one story. You know,
there's a lot of dudes.
Russell Wilson was a Rule 5 draft pick. He's playing great for the Yankees.
Hold on. What's his name? I want to say not Tim Hudson. Barry Zito maybe was a low draft pick. Barry Zito is drafted. Let's see.
I'm with you, Rook. Fuck that bullshit draft pick nonsense.
Yeah, who cares? Let it go.
You could also get fucking compensated. You can get fucking international money.
Do you?
You could.
Could you?
Listen, we might as well move on from fucking baseball. But all I'm saying is the culture the Yankees culture we grew up around, and that spend money, win, do what you got to do, is just not there anymore. And I'm not saying you need a payroll that dictates, like the Yankees don't have to go out and spend $700 million a year on payroll. That's fine. But they also can't do this statistical bullshit when they have nothing but fucking sluggers on the team. So it's just outs, pop outs, strikeouts, and runners left in scoring position nonstop. They have to figure out what they're going to do. They have to clean house and go with youth, or they have to spend fucking money. And at this point, with the team the way it's built right now, I'm thinking that they spend a little bit of extra money because they have a lot of pieces in place.
Well, so who are you cleaning house with? Who are you cleaning house of? Because you've lost Glaber at this point. Right. Rizzo's gone as well.
What I'm saying is, if they're not gonna, let's say they don't sell out for Soto and they let him walk too, then at that point, let fucking Cole go too. Don't even fucking pay him the $36 million because you're trying to fucking cut corners.
It's not
agreed to the contract.
It's not $36 million anymore. Now it's $144 million.
Yeah, he's already here. He already took the 4 years. He's not asking for the 1 year now.
Oh, he did? Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
So whatever. Yeah. But if that was the case, I'm just saying, it's at this point, you're paying Judge for a long time. You got Stanton for a little bit left. You have the pieces that you could build the fucking team around Judge himself. Stanton showed you that, listen, if I get hot at the right time, if my lows lead into the playoffs and then the playoffs I run hot, I can fucking carry, which he did most of the playoffs. He fucking carried.
Yeah.
So if you're going to sell out right now for Soto, then I think you have to go on a spending spree and say, we've already spent X. Another, like you said, if you're going to play that drop in the hat game, what's another 20% over the fucking cap? Who gives a shit? Spend the money, win a World Series.
You know what I would do? I know this sounds crazy because he had just an awesome postseason, but you never know what could happen. He has, 2 or 3 years left. If someone wants to take that money, I'd trade Stanton while the iron's hot. Right?
I would too.
Iron's hot.
He log jams for your roster. You're going to want Dominguez playing next year because I don't want Verdugo on the Yankees at all. I never liked his attitude and I didn't like his playing style.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, listen, I love seeing Stanton crush home runs when he fucking bombs one. It's awesome. But I'd be okay if he went to, if he traded him away and freed up some cat space and made play on Soto or for someone else or fill the gaps.
But see, that's the thing that would piss me off. That would piss me off if you move Stanton to get Soto. That would bother me because you don't have to move anybody. You're the fucking Yankees.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. Soto. Like I'm saying, if they paid Soto and they're like, well, we could fill up gaps if we take the money from Stanton to put I got a good first baseman and a third baseman, Alex Bregman and Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso's the best available first baseman right now.
That's what it is.
I agree, and I don't love that. I definitely don't. I don't love what available starting pitchers are out there going into.
No, I like Burns season. Who's
I like Burns.
Blake Snell's out there again. And
I don't like Blake Snell at all.
I don't like him either. I'm saying,
no.
And then who's on? There's a third guy too. They already checked in. I forgot his name.
And then and what's his name that was on the fucking Yankees is a free agent again.
That was on the Yankees.
Yeah.
Montgomery?
No.
There's a third guy they checked in on too today. So
Max Fried.
Max Fried, that's the one.
I said it like 6 times, and you were just like,
I couldn't hear you because I'm deaf.
Okay, I was gonna say because nobody was talking.
I know. I was gonna play teacher yelling, but he wasn't.
We'll see what happens. I just don't like the concept of if the Yankees offer him like a $600 million deal, if Steve Cohen's like, I'll make it 7. Like, what are we gonna pay this guy $2 billion because Steve Cohen just doesn't want to lose?
Sorry, Evaldi apparently.
If they pay him $700 million, I'd be like, let him walk. I mean, what?
Yeah, $700 million is ridiculous, especially for a guy who doesn't play that great of defense.
I guess we'll move on for baseball. We spent most.
Yeah, we're moving on.
We're going to do this quick, and we said the entire.
There's nothing else to talk about. I mean, well, bro, as Jets and Giant fans, thank you so much, New York, for taking away the enjoyment of football fucking Sundays because I don't know.
Nothing really here to report. The Jets traded Mike Williams to the Steelers for a 5th-round pick at the trade deadline. I thought they were going to sign Quentin Jefferson. They allowed him. I think he signed with the Bills, which sucks because they really need to run stuff in DT. Maybe they're thinking they're going to move Michael Clemens inside. I don't know. The one thing I did see this week that I was fucking flabbergasted by, excuse me, Garrett Wilson's like 3rd or something like that in yards per game. Aaron Rodgers is 6th in yards for the season. Oh, I'm sorry. Garrett Wilson is yards per seat for the season. He's like 3rd. Aaron Rodgers is 6th of all quarterbacks in yards on the season. And I want to say he's 3rd in touchdowns thrown. And I'm like, how the fuck are we losing? Like, what the fuck is going on right now? I don't like. I'm kind of like, I heard those stats and I saw them somewhere. Will McDonald's got 8 sacks and he's like 3rd in the NFL. And then fucking the defense is like number 3 against the pass and number 2 overall. And I'm like, why are we losing? How is our quarterback in the top 10 in passes thrown for touchdowns and we're fucking losing games? I don't get it.
Your kicker fucked you guys.
Fuck, I forgot about that fucking guy.
And is he coming back? Or they got rid of
He
him?
better fucking not. He's not welcome here anymore. Wow, you're damn right. You're absolutely right. That is why we're losing. Our kicker missed like 6 field goals and we lost 3 games because of it.
Yeah, you would have won those 3 games. Your season would be complete.
And we would be fucking 6-3 right now if our kicker could kick a fucking field goal. God damn it, Rook. You're absolutely correct.
Graham Gannell's saying the Giants wouldn't be as good. They probably would be like 4 and 5. But they still would suck. But Graham Gannell is supposed to come back. I'm surprised that guy still has a job for the Giants because he's
who's that?
Great. Graham Gannell. He's the one that he's the one that fucked the Giants. Basically.
I didn't even know that he was still on the Giants.
He's still on the Giants because he was on the injured list and now he's coming back.
Wow, he went to Florida State.
Yeah, well, he sucks now. So
I mean, kicking is
I don't want to talk about him. There's no enjoyment at this football Sundays, Mondays. I'm sick of being on national television. Why are you still putting the New York Giants against New York? They suck. There's a terrible product. Don't put it in prime time. I'm tired of being embarrassed on national TV. It's just a joke. Daniel Dimes is the only. I don't want to call him Daniel Dimes. Daniel Jones is the only quarterback that's a 1-15 and 15 in primetime games. I don't even know why he's been allowed to be able to play 16 primetime games.
The only thing I will say about primetime games is that usually when the Jets embarrass me on a Sunday afternoon, like first game of the day, I can't watch football for the rest of the day. So if they're playing Sunday night or Monday night, at least at that point, there's a stay of execution and I can watch the other games without hating myself.
No, I can't even watch football anymore. The last 2 Sundays I went to the zoo and I went to the farm because it's not fun. Because it's not fun to watch other teams have fun when I'm miserable.
Welcome to being a Jet. Welcome to being a Jets fan. Like, absolutely 100%. That is what being a Jets fan is, where you just watch other teams play like competent football and you're like, why the fuck can't we do that?
It's not fun anymore. Football isn't fun.
Life as a Jets fan. But I just wanted to update on
remember the Titans. Are you having fun? Zero fun, sir.
All right, moving on. I just played that music so TJ can get ready to just completely destroy Igor Shesterkin right now for asking for $11 million after giving up 5 goals to the Buffalo Sabres. Do you feel somewhat vindicated right now, T? Do you feel vindicated in moments like this when everybody was like, you're a fucking idiot? And then you're like, there it is, scoreboard.
No, not at all, because you'll still have people sit there and be like, it's one game. It's like, I know, it's crazy. And investing literally like 15% of the entire salary of the team on a guy that can have bad games every day of the week is not a great idea. I don't give a shit the cap might go up $1 million or $2 million. It doesn't matter. Carey Price is the highest paid goaltender right now at $10.5 million. And everybody in Montreal is like, fuck you, dude. Like, nobody wants that. Like, Binnington is, I think, making $6 million. Like, it just bothers me. It really does.
He want to stay on the cup.
What?
Binnington want to stay on the cup. Like,
dude, it's just honestly, I understand that Vasilevsky, I think, makes only $9.5 million. So this guy turned down an extra $1.5 million, and they're back and forth for who's like the best goaltender in the league. Like, and you turn down $1.5 million more than the guy you're compared to most. So, like, don't get me wrong, dude. There's a premium price to pay for a goaltender. The fact that he turned down $11 million when I wouldn't be comfortable if I'd be more comfortable in the $9 to $10 million a year for 10-year range, right? Like the $100 million, people.
See, if I was a hockey player, I wouldn't give up the extra $5 million.
$5 million is what? The
three
average,
players in hockey.
$5 million a season is like the average 30 goal scorer salary.
Yeah,
season.
if I was a hockey player, I wouldn't be giving up $5 million either.
Yeah.
That's like 4 players on your team salary combined.
Yeah. But again, listen, I love Igor Shesterkin, but after last year, those lulls he had in the season where he looked just like ass, where multiple times you're texting me before we even do the podcast, like, oh, do we have goalie trouble? And I'm like, you fucking don't start, dude. Don't even bring it up. I can't handle this shit.
You are fucking doing it. And then you sit there and look at us when we call you a Devils fan, and you're like, I don't know why you guys keep saying I'm a Devils fan, because you say stupid shit like that. There's goalie controversy in the fucking Rangers. There's blue shirt goalie guy. All last year, this motherfucker was doing that shit. And then he sits there and he goes, I don't know why you guys keep saying I'm a Devils fan, because of stupid ass shit like that. We'll be watching the game. We'll be winning by 5 goals. This guy will be like, I want to see. Immediately, they'll give up 2 goals, and he will continue to watch. Mush. He does that shit on purpose because he wants the Devils to win. That's why he does it.
I do it because it pisses you guys off.
Nah, you're a Devils fan. We knew it.
I didn't even say anything. You're already mad.
Dude, listen, for whatever reason, Rook did it. Okay? Jonathan Quick is making $1.275 million this season. Now compare that to the possible $11 million a season Igor. And now if you sit there and weigh the game checks before every game and decide, I'm going to lean towards fucking Quick every time. Because it's like, oh, hey, we could pay a 50-goal scorer a season to come here. Or we can let Igor be the highest paid goaltender in the fucking league. It's like, yeah, no, I want more goals. Because this league is all about the goals. End of story. It's been proven multiple times, and if you don't believe me, run down the last fucking 12 Stanley Cup winners and let me know how many fucking first ballot Hall of Fame goaltenders are there. Because there's a bunch of fucking goalies on the Stanley Cup. Their names are there, etched in there for history forever, that suck. That, like, statistically, we're like maybe top 12, 13, 14 in that area. And I'm not saying suck in like they actually suck as a goaltender. What I mean is they're not at the peak level that Igor Shesterkin is at, yet they found a way to win the Stanley Cup.
I was going to say, speaking of sucking, because Zibanejad is killing the Rangers.
I believe we were all on the Mika hate early last year. We've been giving Mika shit nonstop, and we heard the fucking tropes. Rook, how many times you have to hear about Mika May and Mika March and Mika fucking February?
Never comes.
Never. It's like tomorrow.
It's old holiday. It doesn't happen anymore. It's one of those phased out ones, I guess. And it just doesn't come. And listen, I used to love Mika. It's just, and I still do. He's a great Ranger. It was a great trade. But at this point, it was a great trade. But
zero effort.
Now, he's just a statue out there. He sits by the circle, waiting for that slap shot for the power play, and then he never hits it. And if he does, it's because someone's out in front or some bullshit. But it's just he's getting. Someone posted a meme. I think it was the Broadway Block guys. They put out.
Great dudes.
The Star
Broadway Block
Troopers. I'm doing my part. And then it's the I ain't do fucking shit. That's because of Zibanejad.
Well, I was gonna say, Mika Zibanejad reminds me of Ovechkin right now, where it's like,
oh yeah,
I'm just going out there and standing in one spot and doing as little as possible. The only difference is I'm not chasing Wayne Gretzky's record. I'm just getting paid, so I have to play because I'm getting paid a ridiculous amount of money to do fucking nothing.
And he's DJing at Ibiza in the off season, so
dude, I really try not to wish bad things on people. But if he wants to be a DJ, maybe like just
Go be a DJ.
maybe a tendon snaps in his knee, and it's just easier for him to get paid through the insurance company, and then he can be in Ibiza DJing as much as he wants.
Yeah.
Everybody wins.
Or
Everybody
just
wins.
quit
At
and
this
become a
point,
DJ.
dude, I'm telling you right now, if you told me we can go out there with Mika Zibanejad and 4 other forwards, or we can go out there with 4 forwards and then just like a random inanimate object, I'd take the object. There's a chance the object gets in the way.
A quick question for you, T. How much stock do you place in plus or minus? Do you think it's like it's very luck based? I think to a certain degree.
Yeah. Unless you're a defensive guy.
No. So yeah, well, defensively plus minus counts in a different way. Essentially, if you're anywhere close to even or plus a couple, then you're a solid defenseman because that's just the way it is. Especially if you're not on out there for with a scoring line generally.
Yeah.
I think for first and second line guys, if you're not plus 15, you're on a shit team with a shitty line.
So how does it make you feel right now knowing that somebody like Capo Caco is plus 8 and tied for 31st in the NHL?
Well, at this point in the year.
At this point in the year, yes.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
I looked at that and I was like, holy shit, really? And I'm thinking like, that's a little bit of luck though, because your line's not out there for fucking 10 minutes. You're out there.
Well, there's only been 13 games, so
right.
14 games. So I mean, yeah, I would say that average is probably plus 2 or 3 for the league right now for a good line on a decent team.
Right.
So that's very good.
He's actually the highest on the Rangers, which is weird because like
their lines are pretty good.
Everybody tells us we're fucking crazy because we like Kako. We sit there and say every time we go to the game, the only dude hustling up and down the ice nonstop, regardless of the score, is Capo Caco. And we're constantly told we're wrong. But you know what? It's going to be nice. That's when it feels good to be vindicated, Nick, when everybody was telling us that we were fucking morons because we wanted to hold on to Lafreniere and not give him up. Yeah. For a has-been Patrick Kane, who then came here and did absolutely nothing anyway, and we didn't have to give up a fucking first-round pick. And now Lafreniere is probably one of the most exciting Rangers on the fucking team other than Panarin.
Yeah.
So, listen, the NHL takes time to develop players. You cannot walk in and be Connor McDavid at 18, 19 years old and be a phenom.
It happens once every 20 years.
Yeah, it's a generational thing.
It's not like the NFL where every year there's a generational player. Literally in hockey, it's every 10 to 15, sometimes 20 years.
Yeah, like Sidney Crosby came on.
Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. And people don't quite understand the immense difference of like a A-plus player and then like the God tier player. Wayne Gretzky at 16 years old won Junior's Rookie of the Year playing against the average age 22 years old. Right. At 16 years old, going up against men at 22 years old, again, playing real hockey, not this pussyfoot and shit, playing real hockey where literally Marty McSorley was put on Wayne Gretzky's line when he was in the NHL.
I thought you were going to say people up.
To fuck people up because you don't touch Wayne Gretzky because that's the goal. If that guy's scoring goals, go fuck him up. Go hurt him. Go put him in the corner and beat the shit out of him. Right? So at 16 years old, the dude was, I think he scored the most goals in juniors, and he was junior of Rookie of the Year at 16, playing in a league average 22 years old of age against grown-ass men. Like, that's the difference between God tier and then, like, your fucking normal first-round picks overall. That's like, yeah, they might come into the league and score 15, 20 goals, and that's great, but you have no idea at 18 years old, that's fucking better than great. That is.
You say, when you see God tier,
it's like that. Like, he's good, but he's not like God. Like, he's a good player for a young kid, but he's not like God.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, everybody thinks everybody's going to be Connor McDavid, and it's not. And even Bedard, they're like, oh, yeah, he's the next McDavid. It's like, let McDavid continue his trend because still, like, everybody's comparing him to Gretzky, and it's like, yeah, he's good, but, like, there's a big jump there. You don't just say that all willy-nilly. Like, yeah, exactly. Ovechkin has been in the league for what? 17 years now?
Something like that. Long time.
And he probably has taken more shots and been fed on the power play the same spot nonstop, more shot. He probably takes more shots in the league when he was younger than most teams do, I would say. So, and he and he's top, and he is like that right at the echelon of like crossing over into that God tier, right?
When you say God tier, are you saying that Wayne Gretzky is a celebrity?
Wayne Gretzky is definitely a celebrity.
Or like a celebrity like Jesus is a celebrity?
No. Jesus is my Lord and Savior. And while some people on this podcast who may or may not have had a hand in murdering him.
That being said, we're going to go into a quick new segment, Top 5. So, Top 5, we're going to talk about our top 5 celebrities.
Everyone knows them.
Top 5 celebrities that we respect on a personal level. I'm going to go first because the three of us are very similarly minded, and I don't want them stealing my awesome fucking top 5. It's going to get weird at the end. At the end, you got to let me explain myself because it's going to get weird, and I have my reasons, and they're offset by other reasons, but I got my reasons, right?
Wait, we're each getting a top 5? I thought we were making it together, a top 5.
I think we have to be unanimous on it. So if you're going to pose somebody.
The reason this started is I mentioned that Post Malone, every month I see something involving Post Malone. And every month it's something so like wholesome and downright. And it's always something that's like him just being nice to a fan or just having a normal human being conversation. And today I saw a video of him going up to a young man who was celebrating his birthday at a restaurant that Post Malone happened to be at. And he was just wishing him a happy birthday and brought him a shot. And he came up to the kid and he goes, "Hi, I'm Austin," which is Post Malone's real name is Austin Post. And he goes, "Hi, I'm Austin. I just want to come over and wish you a happy birthday." The kid didn't go up to Post Malone. Post Malone went up to the kid because he heard somebody wish him a happy birthday. Like, who the fuck does that? Like, I'm the asshole in the restaurant that when they sing happy birthday, I stop what I'm doing and I join in. And like obnoxiously, because it's like, why the fuck not? You know, like this isn't TGI Fridays. I'm about to make it TGI Fridays. And then like the mom is there, and apparently when I say apparently, I don't mean like it's obvious from the video. I mean, it was revealed during the video that the young man was autistic, and it was his 21st birthday. And his mom goes, "Oh, we took him out for his 21st birthday. I know it's lame to buy him his first legal drink. I know it's lame for a mom to spend your 21st birthday with your mom." And Post Malone was like, "Moms are awesome. Can we get her a shot too? Get her a shot too. We're all going to celebrate." And that's awesome. And that's not the first time I've seen him do something really cool. I do some like VR stuff. I have an Oculus and whatnot. And I actually saw one of his concerts in VR, which was pretty cool because like you're sitting first row and he's going up to you, like putting his hands in your face and shit. And after every single song he sang, say that 3 times fast, he literally stops and says, everybody's cheering their fucking heads off. And he goes, "Thank you all so very much. I love you all so very fucking much." And it sounded like he was going to cry after every single song because he could not believe how many people like loved and supported his thing, you know, like his music, his art, his thing that he loves to do. And the craziest thing that I can think of about Post Malone is that he has got all these crazy tattoos on his face. And they asked him why. And he goes, I never thought I was that handsome to begin with. So I figured, what difference does it make? And I'm like, he's kind of a handsome guy. Like, no homo, but like, he's a handsome dude. I don't know why, like, I can't, how low your self-esteem has to be for you to be like, I'm so unattractive. I'm just going to doodle on my face.
So after he spent 5 minutes on that, let's just veto that right away, just because, just for the fun of it, just to make Nick feel terrible about his pick.
Fuck you.
All right. No, I like it. I dig it. Absolutely.
Wait, can I go?
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you're ready, shoot.
I know what he's going to say.
Who?
You're going to say Keanu Reeves.
No, I wasn't. You know, I was thinking.
I was going to say Keanu Reeves.
Oh, well, good. So you get Keanu Reeves. I was going to say Ken Griffey Jr.
Nah. Why? From what?
People love Ken Griffey Jr. You have his shirt.
Yeah, but you got to respect him. What do you respect
I
about
respect
him? Like
him as a player, but like, what has he done?
I
in
like
life?
Keanu Reeves. I respect Keanu Reeves because
Keanu
any
Reeves,
interaction Keanu Reeves has ever had with a fan is always a positive one. The dude donates money left and right. He never changed, acts like a normal individual, literally has been through more trials and tribulations in his life. While his life may be blessed, right? And he's very fortunate with fame and fortune. It didn't start blessed. It didn't go blessed. Look at the tragedy surrounding this dude's life. Look at like his relationship to people that he's ever been closest to, and look what happens and just how.
And he's still so
sadness
positive.
Follows him, and he's still positive, the nicest guy in the world. It's just, how do you not respect somebody that has everything and then just treats it like, I'm just happy to be, hey, talking to you guys. What's up? Today's a great day.
And the thing is too about him to like when like after the Matrix movies, he like disappeared for a while, and then he came back with John Wick probably and was by his most big thing, and he's still the same dude. And not even that. What was it? They offered him a bunch of money to be in Marvel. He turned it down and instead he did the SpongeBob movie. Did you know that?
I love him in this game got kind of hated on, but I loved it because he was the kind of the main character of the game in Cyberpunk 2037 or something like that. Whatever I'm not good with numbers, but he was awesome in Cyberpunk. I fucking loved that game just because it was like watching a Keanu Reeves movie.
So do we all agree Keanu Reeves is up there?
Absolutely. I vetoed the shit out of Ken Griffey Jr. I don't know what he's done in the real world, like outside of playing baseball well.
I thought it was just you're saying in general who are well liked by everyone.
No, just
somebody who has your respect.
So I got another one that I'm ready to fire at you guys, and this is going to be a little out of left field, but I'll let you guys decide. Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis was in every fucking kids movie, and then his wife got sick. And he turned around and said, fuck Hollywood. I'm going to be a family man. I've made enough money. I'm going to take care of my kids. And literally never looked back. Never looked back. Was like, I'm happy now. I like that's, we see in a world where everybody like has nannies for their kids. And every time you see fucking J-Lo's kids or Ben Affleck's kids, there's some other dude walking with them or like, you know what I mean? Like, or when they're at something, they're like off to the side or like, this dude was like, oh, yeah, that's awesome. By the way, I love being at the height of my career, but I'm just going to leave now anyway. And people will sit there and be like, oh, he's
$5 million now.
Yeah. But like people will sit there and be like, oh, well, yeah, Rick Moranis. Right? Like people don't understand. Like Rick Moranis was in everything up until the point where he left. Like he was in every kids movie with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and all the, what was like four movies that followed, right? Little Giants, all that stuff. And then left. Dude. Ghostbusters, that's what I'm saying. He got his start in the 80s, Little Shop of Horror, Ghostbusters, all that stuff he was in. Right. Great actor, great stage presence, funny, makes a name for himself, continues it through the 90s. It is in at least, I would say, 2 or 3 summer blockbuster movies out of that like 5 or 6 year run in the 90s, and then disappears because, I got to take care of family because what else is important in life? Nothing else. So that's my pick. That's my guy.
Yeah, I agree. I like Rick Moranis. Family Man. I can always thumbs up Family Man. For fucking vetoing Ken Griffey Jr. I don't know what he's done other than promote Alpha Lion.
I misunderstood the assignment. I'm sorry.
So where are we at right now? We're talking about Post Malone.
Is that why you put up Jesus?
Because
everybody likes Jesus,
and everybody does not like Jesus. There's quite a few.
Jesus has a lot of respect.
Many people.
A lot of people respect Jesus.
And Rick Moranis, I'm going to give Rick another go because he misunderstood the assignment. He's had a couple minutes to think about it. Maybe he's got somebody else.
I don't.
Oh, I don't. So I was going to say,
when you said well liked, I thought you meant like universally liked by a bunch.
No,
of people.
respected overall based on the actions of their heart, not the fucking actions they do.
It was just like
made them famous.
I thought it was like well-known celebrities, like who's universal. Like there's like most people, baseball players, whether or not baseball fans. If you are a Seattle Mariners fan or a Cincinnati Reds fan, even if you aren't,
you completely. Why would Jesus be on that list then?
Why would Jesus? Because he's well respected. Everyone knows him. He's very likable.
I guess, but there's like a whole like 2/3 of the world that don't give a fuck about Jesus.
So actually, a lot of people do.
I was gonna say I actually have this one's an iffy. This one's a toss up for me. That's why I think like this might not make the list. I was gonna go John Cena. No one has fulfilled
Cena,
more
make a
Make a
wish, John
Wishes
Cena.
That's a good one.
I will.
He made the most wishes ever.
ever.
Yeah, that's respect.
I will thumbs up John Cena. I don't like him as a wrestler, but as a human being, he's a top notch. I was actually thinking about John Cena. Great point. So where we're at 4 right now.
Yeah, 4.
This one's gonna be weird. You're gonna veto it. I have very specific instances where this guy was a top notch fellow. He does a lot of fucking weird ass shit. And some of it.
Baron Cohen. Oh, sorry.
And I was gonna say Tom Cruise. Because if you ever Google search Tom Cruise saves, there's like 15 instances of people like about to get hit by a car, about to get run over by paparazzi. One woman was getting sexually assaulted, and Tom Cruise saved them all. Like Tom Cruise stopped being Tom Cruise for fucking 2 seconds to be Thomas Mapother and was like, "Oh my god, that woman's being raped," and like jumped into action and was like, "I'll stop it, Scientology, you've got my back." And I'm just like, why is this happening? Why is it always him?
That's where
it's a very Keanu Reeves situation.
That's where the veto comes in. Is the Scientology, because
I know.
Look behind the veil of Scientology, and everything that guy's the face of, it's like, oh, Danny Masterson. Oh, he thought he was just doing the normal thing that you guys do over there.
But you know what though? But here's my deal: if he treats everybody outside of Scientology just fucking thumbs up, then why do I fucking care what he does in his church?
If he rapes people in Scientology, it's still fucked up.
Clearly, it's part of their thing. Like, you're a Scientologist and so am I, so you must be fucking down with it.
If like you were like, if the list was like top cameos, I'd give it to you because he was awesome in Tropic Thunder.
I'm just saying, like, if you ever Google search Tom Cruise saves, there's multiple instances of him just being a good person and stopping people from either harm, death, or sexual assault. It's weird.
You know who else saves, right? Jesus.
Aren't you celebrating Hanukkah next month?
I'm vetoing. I'm
okay with that.
Tom Cruise.
I just wanted to put that out.
Scientology. I'm sure he's a nice guy and all that stuff. And
like I said, he's
I respect his. I will tell you this. I respect his dedication to the craft of acting. He's definitely top 5 like actors of all time. Who
his fellow actors do say great things about him as well.
Well, I was going to say, anybody that's worth the amount of money he's worth, and he's like, no, you're going to strap me to the side of the fucking plane. Why would you pay a stuntman? Like, all right, that's awesome.
It's because he's the producer. He's trying to save himself a buck. You think when like he's playing the Mission Impossible, like he's probably like like in his head while he's on the side of a plane, and probably just muttering him to himself like, "I'm a Scientologist. God, gravity doesn't fucking do anything to me." Possibly. We need one more. Who's got one more?
I'll give one more. You probably veto it, but Luke Bryan, I think he's a country singer, but he lost his brother, he lost his sister, and he actually raises their kids. Like he legitimately took them in, raised them up as his own, and like I think he lost his sister very young. So like pretty much like throughout his fame, like he's been raising their kids like completely. So I think that's a pretty good.
He lost his brother and his sister, or his sister and his brother-in-law.
No, like I think he might have actually lost his sister and brother-in-law and his brother.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Big thing. Oh yeah, like he's had a lot of tragedy in his life, and he's done whatever he could to like help those like in his family. Like I know it's not like Luke Bryan above, but I'm sure he's done other things for charitable work. But I mean, for just to do that for like to step up for your nieces and nephew like that, it's pretty amazing.
So here's the toss up, right? I was gonna say Method Man because I think we've all run into Method Man somewhere on this island.
Yeah,
and he's always a fucking down dude. So down, in fact, he sent his son to a public fucking high school. His kid went to Curtis. Like, you're a multimillionaire. Your kid can go to school wherever the fuck you want. His kid went to Curtis, and then he went to Stony Brook.
I'll tell you what. Right now, and it's not just because we're from Staten Island, my wife worked with Method Man's daughter, said she was nothing but the sweetest person in the world, which means this man is an amazing father.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Raised a daughter that has a tremendous work ethic, because I won't say – my wife's a teacher, so – I won't say where or anything like that.
But she's giving back to the community just by being a teacher.
To go into a field that doesn't pay very much for the amount of work that goes into it, knowing that you're a celebrity's daughter, that you were raised right with the right. I'm with you. Thumbs up on Method Man. Because he is also the nicest fucking dude if you run into him in the world.
Everybody in Staten Island runs into Method Man on a regular basis. It's like the episode of How I Met Your Mother where they're like, you're not really a New Yorker if you haven't seen Maury. Are you a Staten Islander if you haven't run into Method Man?
Dude, on top of the fact that you want to talk about somebody who made it rich, made it famous, and stayed in his same community. That guy is all about Staten Island. All of them, everybody from the Wu-Tang Clan, they always invest in stuff. There's always little businesses popping up on Staten Island. Doesn't Ghostface Killer have a coffee shop now on Staten Island?
Next to my sister's house, yeah.
So it's
Ghostface Killer Coffee, it's called, or Killer Cafe.
Killer Cafe.
One of my teachers in high school, they told a story how he was behind Method Man at like Champs, and he was buying like a legit Ranger jersey, like authentic. And Method Man just like he was like, oh, what's up? He said hi to him, whatever. And that they were just like, yo, give me that. I'm buying it for you. Like, he wasn't bothering. He just said hi, fan of your work. Wasn't really being too intrusive, but he was just like, give me that. I'm buying it for you right now.
And you know what though? Like, when you're in Staten Island, you don't have to be intrusive with Method Man. He's one of us.
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. Like you want to talk about somebody as influential as I think it gets in that early that he was there when hip hop hit its like explosion, birth. I would say, right? Like
the next level birth after the 80s boom. He was part of the 90s hip hop explosion with NWA and Bad Boy, but we're not going to talk about who ran Bad Boy, and Bad Boy and Death Row and all that. He was part of all of that. Like they were part of all of that.
Yeah, Wu-Tang.
I will say that I think he's the only one that still lives on the island. Everybody else moved away. They might throw money this way, but they don't live here.
I thought Redman's
funny too. I saw recently.
Redman's not in Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh.
I saw recently someone had a political sign in their house, and instead of like Kamala or Trump, it said Wu-Tang is forever. And
I saw something along that line too. It said elections are one day, but Wu-Tang is forever. Yeah. So that's our top five. Our top five is Post Malone, Keanu Reeves, Rick Moranis. I lost somebody along the way. Who did I lose?
Come on, you can't see him.
John Cena and Method Man. That's why I lost him. I couldn't see him. I think that's a great group. I think that's a great five-some of good people that have influence and they're well known and they're good at what they do with regard to. I mean, I don't really like John Cena as a wrestler. I don't find him entertaining, but he's a good actor. I like him. I like most of the shit that he's in, except that god awful
was actually pretty funny.
Except for that god awful Marine movie.
Oh yeah.
Peacemaker was a very good series, very very comical.
I didn't have high hopes for it because I didn't love the character after the last Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
and then realizing like, wow, whoever's doing the show should have made the last movie because the show is fantastic. And the last movie blew ghosts.
It's gonna stink when this list comes out, and then like tomorrow, John Cena commits murder. It's gonna be.
Well, I mean, it's not like we're gonna go out and have a fucking Chris Benoit tribute fucking show and then have to renege 10 hours later.
Yeah, that's true. That's tough. Well, Chris Benoit was not murdered. I mean, was murdered. He was not the murderer.
That's for a different show, man. I've talked about that on that other show. I'm with them. All right, it was Kevin Sullivan. And now I think he passed away, so we'll never find out the truth.
And Chris Benoit was there to give him a crippled crossface as he crossed the.
At the end of the day, knowing the effort that it took to interview all these wrestlers and Vince McMahon sitting there crying like, he's a great guy, an amazing family. And then the next day he's like, fuck him. It's a piece of shit. Like, it's like, oh man, that sucks. It's like maybe next time wait. Find out what fucking happened. Like, how do you not like, yo, 3 people were murdered in this house? It's like, all right, we got to capitalize on it, but in a good way. It's like, oh, we can do a tribute. It's like, yeah, that won't blow up in our face.
Yeah.
I'd like to apologize, everybody, in advance for the tribute that we did yesterday. The facts of the case weren't out yet, and we didn't realize what an incredible piece of shit our employee.
It only got worse too. Like as the details emerged, and I think the most gruesome part is like how he killed himself, and it's like, wow, we made a mistake.
It's like as if like during a pay-per-view someone died and they just kept going. Like that's never happened either, right?
Like as if they just mopped up the blood.
We don't know the rules, okay? Owen would have wanted them to keep going.
Yeah, okay, I'm sure.
That was the worst. That was the worst thing they could have done was because everybody in the crowd was still like, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" Like nobody was happy at that point. Like everybody was like, "No, fuck wrestling."
JR announced that he died over like.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No,
I think he did.
JR said there was been an accident.
Nobody ever said that he died, and even the crowd wasn't. They thought it was part of the show.
Yeah, but everybody was like, it was. And
it was quiet, but they thought it was part of the show because if you really
Jerry the King was like sitting there like fucking crying most of the rest of the show.
He was
sitting there like
Jerry knew he was dead. But if you thought that he had died, wouldn't you? And you were like, I'm not into it. Wouldn't you have just gotten up and left?
Yeah,
they all thought it was kayfabe. They really thought it was part of the show. Because how many times have you seen somebody die in wrestling? Like I've seen it a lot. I saw Stone Cold almost get sacrificed by the Undertaker.
Well, so Kurt Angle got choke slammed off of the second deck of the arena onto concrete.
I saw fucking the Big Show try to flip a car onto somebody once. I also saw one of LOD who I can't remember which one because they kind of blur in my head. Either Hawk or Animal climbed the Titantron and then Draws threw him off.
I remember Vince McMahon was in his limo and then somebody blew it up.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, how do you know where the line is? Like, it's very blurry back then. Now, like, there's no, it's transparent. But back in the day, you had no fucking clue. I still think Kane and Undertaker are related.
I maintain that while WWE tries to erase many things and listen, they took a lot of risks and stuff like that. But if anything, it's like maybe having a Middle Eastern looking dude called the Terrorist wasn't the best idea.
That guy wasn't even Middle Eastern. He was Italian.
I know. He was Italian. It's like your olive skin is close enough to brown, but you get out there and
let's see what your beard looks like.
Like, holy fuck, guys. It's like, all right, listen. But you know what? You got to respect the effort. You got to respect, like, fuck it. We haven't gotten in trouble yet.
Controversy.
They had an 80-something-year-old woman burr the hand.
No publicity is bad publicity. So
that's
fucking May. How many times did Mae Young get dropped on her fucking head? Like monsters. Like fucking 7-foot fucking monsters, 310-pound guys. It's like, hey, come here, 87-year-old Moolah and May. Just body slam.
Just giving stutters out to her.
Like that's Ric Flair now.
That's been Ric Flair for 40 years. That's all we got this week. We'll catch you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Fucking movie. Fabulous Mae Young. No, Fabulous Moolah and the Johnny Mae Young.
And Mark Henry.
Jesus.
By the way, we don't talk about Moolah anymore. Apparently, she was pimping her.
Didn't make the list over Keanu Reeves. You guys are fucked up.
I like how you sat there and you're like, yeah, Jesus is a celebrity, right up there with fucking Matt Damon.
He is.
We'll catch y'all next week. Have a good one.